The phone vibrated in Dr. Rhea Lawson's palm as she stood behind the compounding bench of her neighborhood pharmacy. Powder blue capsules ticked in the counter like a metronome. On the other end, a cheerful voice said, "What training course, Mr. Hale, marked this whole week as vacation?" Rhea stared past the mortar and pestle to the glass door where a bell chimed each time a customer entered. Vacation, not certification. She steadied her breath. "Thank you for confirming," she replied, evenly ended the call, and laid the handset beside the prescription log as if it were a hot iron. She had built Lawson Pharmacy from a rented closet into a tidy sunlit storefront. She had tutored Victor Hale through his career resets and late-night applications. 41 white coat, crisp hair pinned cleanly. Rhea was the sort who made lists and trusted data, and the data right now pointed the same direction. "Rhea, the Kleins are here," her tech called. Rhea slid on her professional smile. "Be right up." She handed over antibiotics, reviewed timing and food instructions, and asked about their granddaughter's cello recital. No tremor reached her voice. Only when the door chimed again and she was briefly alone did she let her shoulders drop. That night, their modern house felt staged, tasteful lamp lemon candle, a throw blanket she had chosen to match Victor's eyes. She opened her laptop on the kitchen island and typed until the keys blurred. Forums, conference rosters, hotel blocks. After 20-odd minutes of careful searching, a page rose to the top. Carter Investigations, discreet, documented, decisive. Rhea didn't need sympathy. She needed verifiable facts. "Lawson Pharmacy," she answered the next morning, voice composed. "Owen Carter returning your inquiry," a measured baritone said. They arranged to meet at a coffee shop on Maple at 3. At 2:57, Rhea recognized him instantly. Early 50s salt and pepper hair, tidy notebook. "Dr. Lawson," he asked, but she offered Rhea and shook his hand. "I've done this for 26 years, Owen said, opening a leather portfolio. "I always hope these calls end with nothing to find. My experience says otherwise. I don't want guesswork," Rhea said, twisting the ring on her finger. "I want evidence, where he is, with whom. 3 days later, subject located. Check your email." Rhea's hands trembled as she tapped the message. 5 images populated the screen. Photo 1. Victor entering Pacific Crest Resort and Spa, Malibu. Photo 2. Check-in at the desk, his arm around a woman Rhea had never seen. Photo 3. Champagne on a balcony facing the Pacific. Photo 4. Walking hand in hand along the private beach at sunset. Photo 5. A booking screenshot. Romance package Tranquility Suite. 7 nights reserved under Victor and Sienna Hale. He had given someone else her last name. Owen's attached report was clinical. The woman was Sienna Reed, 32, interior stylist from Los Angeles. Initial contact, a design expo 6 months prior. Since then, regular meetups masked as conferences and trainings. Receipts listed couples massages, late checkouts, room service for 2. Rhea studied Sienna's face. Younger, yes, open, sunlit, not dramatically so. What struck hardest was the expression, that unguarded look people wear when they believe they have finally been chosen. Rhea felt the oddest twin sensation, grief, and a detached, almost scientific clarity. She texted Owen, "Call when you can. One more ask." They spoke that evening. "I'll need access to Victor's shared calendar," he said. "If he's planning additional travel, we can correlate it." Rhea forwarded the credentials she managed for household logistics. An hour later, Owen replied, "Hander shows, Advanced Systems Cert, Seattle." Monday a.m. after he returns. She opened a blank tab, fingers steady now. Pacific Crest Resort and Spa. Booking. Same dates as the supposed Seattle certification, except hers would begin the day he told her he'd fly out. She clicked through to the Tranquility Suite, the very room from Owen's photos, and selected it without flinching. At checkout, the site asked for a name. For a second, she considered her own. Then she typed a variation she could answer to without thinking: Elena Morgan middle name, plus her mother's maiden name. Confirmation pinged her inbox. Ocean View late arrival noted. Owen called back. "One more thing. Staff at the resort refer to them as Mr. and Mrs. Hale. He's not presenting as married." "Of course he isn't," Rhea said. She closed the laptop and set her ring on the counter, exactly on the seam between 2 marble tiles. The piece of jewelry looked small there, precise and oddly weightless. This wouldn't be a scene. It would be a demonstration, a ledger balanced in public light. When Victor tried to leave again under the cover of coursework, she would already be where he wasn't supposed to find her in the suite he had used to erase her. Rhea wiped the counter, returned the ring to her finger, and turned off the kitchen light. The evidence was in motion, and she finally had exactly what she needed. Sunday evening, the porch light threw a warm triangle across the entryway when Victor Hale rolled his suitcase over the threshold. He dropped his keys into the ceramic dish Rhea had made in a pottery class a lifetime ago, and exhaled as if he'd just completed a marathon. "Hey babe," he said, voice husky with staged fatigue. "That course, wow, brutal." Dr. Rhea Lawson leaned a shoulder against the doorway to the kitchen, the picture of domestic calm. She could smell his cologne, and beneath it a faint sweet note that didn't belong to either of them. "I kept dinner warm," she replied, as if nothing in the world were off. "You must be starving." He told a story as they ate. He had names, room numbers, fake instructors, and invented acronyms. He described a final exam with trick questions. It was impressive, the rehearsal he'd done. Rhea nodded in the right places, asked 2 or 3 neutral questions, and never once pushed. That was new for him. He was used to her curiosity, her follow-ups, her need to see how things fit. Halfway through the meal, he brightened as if he'd remembered something pleasant. "Oh, one more thing. They invited me to an advanced certification next week. Last one for a while, I swear." He lifted his glass. "Seattle," ambitious Rhea said, lifting hers in return. Their glasses clicked like any other pair of glasses in any other house. He watched her closely, probably expecting irritation. She gave him patience instead. "When do you leave?" "Monday morning, first flight." "I'll text you the details when the company confirms, but it's a squeeze. Only senior guys are invited." "Of course," she said, and added a soft smile, the kind you'd give to someone who has convinced himself of his own legend. Later, after he'd showered and fallen into bed with the sleep of a man who believed he had gotten away with it again. Rhea sat at the kitchen island and opened the calendar app she managed for household logistics. The Seattle block was there precisely where Owen Carter had said it would be. She stared at it long enough for the blue rectangle to blur, then closed the laptop and slid it into her briefcase. In the morning, she poured him coffee, packed him a snack bag like she always did, nuts, protein bar, a note that read "travel safe," and kissed his cheek. He wheeled his suitcase to the car, the wheels muttering across the concrete, and pulled away with his usual double tap of the horn. The house held its breath until the sound of his engine collapsed into silence. Rhea moved. She had a second suitcase waiting in the office purchased specifically for this trip, a small, gleaming carry-on with wheels that whispered rather than complained. She packed fast, but with care, clothes Victor had never seen: low-heeled sandals, a sundress that turned the green in her eyes a richer shade, and cosmetics that shifted her from pharmacist at noon to woman with her own agenda by night. She added a small velvet pouch to the inner pocket. The ring inside it was hers. It would not be asked to do symbolic labor today. At the mirror by the front door, Rhea caught her reflection and paused. She hadn't realized how much of her posture had been apology, a constant tilt toward minimizing. She straightened, rolled her shoulders back, and for the briefest instant recognized the teenager who'd once decided she would become a doctor and build something from scratch. That girl had liked numbers and evidence. That girl would have adored today's plan. The freeway west unfurled in glittering lanes. The closer she drove to the coast, the more the light changed harsher overhead, then soft and marine as the ocean took over the skyline. Pacific Crest Resort and Spa sat on a rise above the beach, a sweep of glass and stone that looked engineered to convince weary people that they were safe from consequences. Valets moved like chess pieces in navy blazers. Belle's staff passed with silver-rimmed trays, all fluid choreography and expensive restraint. At the reception desk, a woman with a polished chignon looked up and smiled. "Welcome to Pacific Crest." "Checking in." "Yes." Rhea returned the smile with a practiced one of her own. "Elena Morgan, Tranquility Suite." "Of course, Ms. Morgan," the clerk typed. "Ocean View late arrival, noted couples package amenities included." "Will your partner be joining you?" "Last-minute work emergency," Rhea said with a small shrug. "I decided to come anyway. If there's anything you need during your stay, press 0. A key card slid across the marble. "You've chosen one of our finest suites." The elevator made barely a sound. The doors opened to a corridor that smelled like cedar and salt. Inside, the Tranquility Suite floor-to-ceiling windows framed the Pacific like a painting designed to make every other choice feel small. The suite was immaculate. Of course it was. Housekeeping had erased the human evidence, but Rhea knew better than to trust surfaces. She walked the space as if it were a crime scene, the minibar with 2 highball glasses aligned perfectly, the soaking tub polished to a mirror, the bed made to showroom severity. She ran her fingers lightly along the dresser and felt nothing but polish and air. It didn't matter. The camera had already given her more than dust ever could. She uncorked the welcome bottle and poured a single inch into a flute she didn't intend to finish. Then she stepped onto the terrace. Wind lifted the hair at her temples. Below, the main pool glittered. Beyond that, the beach ran like a pale ribbon at the water's edge. Families moved like small bright stitches, a child with a red pail, a pair of teenagers daring the waves, a couple walking in lockstep toward a cabana. Her breath caught. There he was, Victor. Sunglasses, swim trunks she hadn't seen before, laughing. He placed a hand on the knee of the woman beside him, and Sienna Reed, because who else could it be, tipped her head back to say something, and then smiled with her entire face. A server set down a slate board of fruit and cheese. Sienna popped a grape into Victor's mouth like it was the most natural thing in the world. He caught it with a grin. Rhea stepped back out of habit away from the rail, though she was high enough he wouldn't recognize her, unless he brought binoculars in disbelief. The shock came and went, like a small wave, cold, then gone. She walked back inside and texted Owen. "Rhea, they're still here. Thought he was already home yesterday." "Rhea, find out why." Owen called within the hour. "Sources at the desk say he extended the stay 4 nights, he said. Extra 10 grand on a personal card, not the joint one. You see, Rhea pressed 2 fingertips to her temple. She wasn't angry, there would be time for that later. She was taking inventory. Anything else? Staff chatter says that they're celebrating 6 months. He told the concierge he's planning something special. Owen's voice flattened on the quotes. I'm still working the angle on the Mrs. Hale usage. They aren't correcting it. Of course they aren't. She let herself sit with the numbers 4 nights, $10,000, 6 months. Arithmetic of lies. Thank you, Owen. I'll text if I need a fast pull. She changed into linen pants and a cornflower blouse, braided her hair in a way she rarely did, and slid her keycard into her pocket. The spa was 3 levels down, past a wall of living greenery, and a corridor infused with a smell of lavender and citrus. She paused at the desk long enough to scan the offerings and book a treatment that would put her in the same zone as Sienna at the right minute. Relaxation lounge is just through there, the attendant said. Help yourself to tea. The lounge held 6 chaise lounges, a bowl of polished stones on a low table, and silence punctuated by a small fountain. Rhea took the second chaise from the window and lifted a magazine she didn't intend to read. She focused on breath on heart rate the way she would before counseling a nervous patient about a new medication. Slow in, slow out. Even the body could be persuaded by evidence. The door whispered open. Sienna moved like someone who did not yet know how hard the ground could be. A robe aglow from whatever treatment had come before, hair gathered carelessly and beautifully. She chose the chaise 2 down and accepted a ceramic cup of tea. She hummed some melody that tugged at recognition without giving it a name. That's pretty, Rhea said after a beat, as if remarking on the weather. I can never place it. Sienna looked over, open and guileless. It's from an old French film my boyfriend loves, she said. He got me hooked. Excellent taste, Rhea said, setting the magazine aside. In films and resorts. Sienna's smile widened. Right. We came for a weekend when we first started seeing each other and promised we'd come back for something bigger. It's this. She lifted her hands like the space itself was the proof. Congratulations, Rhea said, and wondered at the way that word could mean both. I am happy for you, and I am so sorry. Thank you. I'm Sienna. She extended a hand. Elena. Rhea took it. The contact was surreal. She was touching the hand that had touched Victor hours ago. It should have burned. It did not. Are you here with someone? Sienna asked, then flushed. If that's too personal, I was supposed to be. Rhea said, letting a sigh carry just enough weight to be plausible. Work intervened. He's in engineering. Seattle, of all places. Sienna brightened. No way, that's my boyfriend's world. He does consulting, always hopping to some job site for something urgent. He was in San Diego last week. She said it with the pride of someone who believes she belongs to a man with purpose. Rhea kept her face smooth. Small field, big projects. Maybe they'll bump into each other in an airport sometime. Maybe Sienna tucked her legs beneath her comfortable now. The words began to pour out as they do when women are given a room with soft walls and tea. How they'd met at a design expo. How he'd surprised her by actually listening to her obsessive monologue about color, temperature, and line weight. How he'd drawn a quick sketch of her someday home on a napkin, like it was the most natural thing a man could do on a first date. Rhea felt the memory land and tried not to taste copper. He had done that for her once too. And he's never been married, Rhea asked lightly, keeping her tone at gossip level rather than interrogation. Never. Sienna's answer was immediate, sunlit.
Shadows stretch across the wall, the clock ticks soft, the echoes small, a chair that creaks, a quiet call, whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere, time stands still, we just sit and stare, a photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers, softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. The past is near, it holds our hands, a quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall, the clock ticks soft, the echoes small, a chair that creaks, a quiet call, whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere, time stands still, we just sit and stare, a photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. guitar sighs like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers, softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. The past is near, it holds our hands. A quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall. The clock ticks soft, the echo small. A chair that creaks, a quiet call. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers, softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. The past is near, it holds our hands. A quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall. The clock ticks soft, the echo small. A chair that creaks, a quiet call. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers, softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. The past is near, it holds our hands. A quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall. The clock ticks soft, the echo small. A chair that creaks, a quiet call. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers, softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. The past is near, it holds our hands. A quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall. The clock ticks soft, the echo small. A chair that creaks, a quiet call. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers, softly warm. The flute flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. The past is near, it holds our hands. A quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall. The clock ticks soft, the echoes small. A chair that creaks, a quiet call. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. The past is near, it holds our hands. A quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall. The clock ticks soft, the echoes small. A chair that creaks, a quiet call. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall, the clock ticks soft, the echoes small. A chair that creaks, a quiet call. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. The past is near, it holds our hands. A quiet tune, no grand demands. We close. Shadows stretch across the wall, the clock ticks soft, the echoes small. A chair that creaks, a quiet call. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just sit and stare. A photograph with edges worn, a fading smile, a shirt once torn, a voice that lingers softly warm. The flute hums low, like wind through trees. The guitar sighs, like autumn leaves. The piano dreams in minor keys. Whispered memories in the air, stories woven everywhere. Time stands still, we just